Hello, students. It is Thursday. We were normally going to have the field trip today, but we moved it to Monday, as you know. So that's why it says day 4 is Friday. So I guess you're just going to have like to adjust course here. So today, for the do now and do next, I am actually going to give you another extra credit opportunity. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to label the do now question number 1. The first do next question number 2, this one right here number 3, and this one right here number 4. All right, and any calculations that you need to do, you'll do on this paper. So right here on the yellow piece of paper you picked up on the way in, you want you to put your name, the period, put Thursday, Friday, do now / do next. Okay, and then you're actually gonna put number 1, 2, 3, and 4 on your paper. Okay, because you're actually gonna show your work and stuff on this paper, and I'm gonna show you what I mean. All right, so on this paper right here, all you're gonna put is the formula that you use. You're gonna plug in the values with the units, and you're gonna put your answer in correct units. So this is what I mean. So let's say, for example, they tell you to find the density. All right, and so the first thing you would do was, this is your formula right here, D equals M over V. Then it says to plug in the values with the units. Okay, so you're gonna put, if they tell you that the mass is 100 grams, if they tell you that the mass was, or the volume was 25 milliliters, so you have the values right here, 125 plus the units. Okay, so that's what we mean by plugging the values in the units. And then you can use a calculator to do the math if it's a problem that you can't do in your head. 100 divided by 25 is 4. And then our answer needs to be in correct units. So we see here we have 4 grams per milliliter, which would be the correct units for this problem. What I do not want to see on this yellow paper is your computation. Okay, I don't want to see this. Do this in your workbook. All I want to see on this paper is a formula, plug in the values with the units. Okay, and I want to see your answer in the correct units. All right, any stuff like this, do it on your white paper. All right, so I'm gonna pause the video right now. I'm gonna give you 10 minutes to do this, and at the end of this 10 minutes, I'm going to take up this paper. All right, and I am going to I'll give you 20 extra credit points if you have done that for each one of these things. Okay, so each one that you get correct and you've done it the right way, I'll give you 5 extra credit points, but it needs to be correct and it needs to be done the way that I asked you. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video right now and give you time to do that and set the timer for 10 minutes. All right, now that that's done and you've turned that in, okay, I actually want to go over the questions to see if you got them right. All right, so first off, this first one right here. Actually, let me use this same paper I was using over here. All right, so it says a box has a volume of 160 centimeters cubed and a mass of 800 grams. It weighs 1.76 pounds and is 8 centimeters tall. What's the density of the block? Okay, or I guess it should say of the box right here. Okay, so they want us to find the density. We know the density is equal to, okay, mass divided by the volume. The mass that they give us is 800 grams. And it's 160 centimeters cubed is the volume. All right. So to find the density, we actually don't need this weight that they give us here, and we don't care that it's 8 centimeters tall, so don't be confused. If you really know what you're doing, that wouldn't have confused you. If you tried to use this weight right here, or the 8 centimeters cubed in your answer, then you got it wrong and you're not sure about what you're doing, and so you need to either ask questions or pay attention when we're going over this stuff to make sure that you actually know it. All right, and then 800 divided by 16. Okay, I think that's, you put that in your calculator. I think it's like 8. Actually, it's 80. 800 divided by 16. Wait, okay, so you do, ooh, my bad. So you could just do 80 divided by 15 if you want. Wait, I'm tripping. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's just 5. I'm tripping. Okay, 5 grams per centimeter. You could get rid of that, but either way, okay, it's 5 grams per centimeter cubed. All right. Over here, okay, it says the density of aluminum is 2.7 grams per centimeter cubed, and a 27 piece of aluminum will have what volume? In this case, they're asking you for the volume. Now, if you're not sure which formula to use, okay, you use a triangle here, and we know that D equals M over V, but if we're looking for volume, we cover up the V, and we see that volume is equal to mass over density. So that's what we're looking for here. So this is the formula you should have used. Formula volume equals mass over density is just like the other 3 variable equations we've been doing all year. Okay, the mass was 27 grams. Okay, and then the volume was 2.7 grams, okay, per centimeter cubed. And we can see that the grams will cancel out, leaving us with centimeters cubed. So our answer needs to be in centimeters cubed, so we know for sure it's not A or G. Okay, and then 2.27 divided by 2.7, that's simply 10. Okay, if you put that, you can do that if you want to, but you can see that by just moving the decimal, it gives you 10. So the answer should be D. Okay, the answer up here should have been 5. I'm tripping. I didn't write that, but you can see it there. All right, over here, okay, they give you some more information. They want to know the rock's density. Okay, this was number 3. That was 1, 2. This one's 3. Rock's density equals mass over volume. The mass they give you is 4,500 grams. You're going to divide that by 300 milliliters. Okay, now you got, all right, and then you just put that in your calculator. See if I can use it better this time, because I was tripping last time. And that's equal to 15. Okay, it's going to be 15 grams per milliliter. Okay, is the density. All right, and then that's going to be answer D. So your problem should have looked like that. All right, now this last one right here, number 4. Okay, it says a block of wood has a mass of this. It tells you the dimensions of the rock is 2 by 3 by 2. So what's the date? They want to know the density equals the mass over the volume. Okay, the mass they give you was 144 grams. Okay, and then the volume. Well, to get the volume, we know we need to do length times the width times the height. Okay, it said it was 2 centimeters times 3 centimeters times 2 centimeters. Okay, so our answer is going to be in centimeters cubed. Okay, and so 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12, so 12 centimeters cubed. It's going to be 12 centimeters cubed. You should probably know that 144 divided by 12 is 12, and then our unit is going to be gram per centimeter cubed. We see that that is answer B. So if you got those right and you wrote out your formula like this, you got 5 points for each one. Hopefully you got all 20 points. Now, you were supposed to be done with up to page 8 by now. Where my cap go? Okay. All right. So you should have these done. I'm just going to go through to make sure you got them so we can move on. Okay. It says here, which has more mass, a 1 liter bottle of water or a 1 liter bottle of air? Okay. And if you did the reading over here, it tells you, okay, that if you had an equal volumes of water and air, you will find that water has more particles than and more mass than the air, and that's because the water is more dense. So in the same amount of space, there's more water particles, and if you have more water particles, you're going to have more mass. So in this case, it will be the 1 liter bottle of water. Okay, 1 liter bottle of water. And you shouldn't just be copying these down. You should be understanding why they're correct. Okay, but the answer to this one was right in here. All right, copying, if those of you that have been copying all year, you're getting your work done, but if you still aren't doing well, it's because you have understanding, and it's because you're just copying. You need to copy if you have to, but then go back and understand why it is what you put. Here it says, which is more dense, solid or liquid water? Well, you look at the density here, we see that ice has a density of 0.92, and we see that water has a density of 1. So ice is less dense than water. Okay, so that means that the water is more dense. So liquid water is more dense because it has a higher density than ice. Okay, we're going to talk about this later, but that's why ice floats on water, because ice is less dense than water. Of course, you should have done your foldable right here. Okay, I saw most of you working on that already. Right here it says, what two things does density depend on? Well, if you do the reading right here, it says density, okay, depends on the mass of the particles, and it also depends on the distance of the particle, of the distance between the particles. So the mass of the particles, I'm going to put of a substance, the mass of the particles of a substance, okay, and the distance between them. Now, I'm about to go on. Don't trip if you didn't. Don't sit there. See, if you're just trying to sit here and copy this right here, you're not really listening, okay? Because I'm telling you the information is right here. So if you can't write it that fast, that's fine. Go back and read it and then put the answer there. Okay, I'm moving on. Okay, right here. It says interpretate how many milliliters of water are in each graduated cylinder. This graduated cylinder is a little bigger than this one, so the water level is lower, but you can see that there's still the same amount of volume in each one. In this case, it would be 50 milliliters of water, because you can see 50 there and then here, but because this one is thinner, okay, the water's up higher. Now, it says, how do you find the density of a rectangular solid? I mean, I imagine most people should know this now, and plus it says it right here, and we went over this already. Okay, you do the length times the width times the height. Okay, we've done that several times and right there on the paper. Okay, you should know that by now. All right, down here it says, why is density a physical property? We talked at the beginning of the year about physical properties, okay, and what makes a physical property is if you can it's a property that you can measure without actually changing what the material is. So we can measure what the density of a substance is by taking its mass divided by its volume, but that doesn't change what it is, okay? So it's a physical property because it can be measured without changing what the material is made of. Now, if you had all of this correct, you are really doing what you're supposed to do. You're on the track. I mean, you can see how simple this stuff is so far. So hopefully most of you are already past page 9. And if you're not, I want you to continue working. Okay, you need to get on. Today, you should be able to finish the entire workbook. So when you walk out of here today, you should be done. Tomorrow, we'll come in and go over the rest of it. Right now, I want you working on that. Make sure you are not missing anything. Make sure you have the vocabulary here and the review vocabulary. So do what you got to do. Okay, make it happen. Keep working hard. Any questions you have, we'll go over that, and we'll wrap this up tomorrow, and we'll start a new lesson next week. Actually, we're going to do two lessons next week. Okay? All right. Talk to you later. Got him!